All right, whenever you're ready.
Hello, little monsters, as Lady Gaga likes to address her fans. For those of you that do or do not know who Lady Gaga is, she is, I believe, one of the biggest pop stars taking over right now. She is not your typical pop sensation. She's not no Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, or Madonna. She's much more. At age 24, Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanotta, Lady Gaga's given name at birth, has sold over 8 million copies of her new album and is the first artist in history of Billboard's Pop Songs chart to have the first 5 singles hit #1. But I'm not here to give you a bio on Lady Gaga. I would simply like to undress, if you may, misunderstanding of Lady Gaga's amazing, motive, and unique high fashion. I would love nothing more than to leave you with higher respect and understanding for Lady Gaga. So, to go further with the speech, I ask you for an open ear and an open mind for this individual that is changing our lives. OMG stated on their website that she is seeking out for attention and her headpieces are out of control. Well, I brought in a replica of one of her masks she wears in her video, Poker Face, and I think it's way different, and not a lot of people use mirrors as a style or fashion in that matter. On Yahoo Mail, they on their website, they also said that her wardrobe was outrageous at the Video Music Awards, and they said that she, if she would have worn something normal, they probably would have been more surprised. And this is a small picture, and it has other pictures on the picture. Right here is the main picture she's wearing, and in an Oprah interview, she explained that the fashion designer designed that for her as high fashion and couture, and so it's more of a high fashion and couture line. Also, in the Oprah interview, she wore a bunch of Kermit the Frog sewed together, and she demonstrated this at an anti-fur convention type of thing, like a fashion show. And then, when she met the Queen, she wore this. And I also found this, and I thought, I think with her whole thing is she's trying to get people to think outside the box and really do different types of fashion. And I think that this is a very good example of thinking outside the box and giving more individuals a chance to express their creativity in a much different way. In the new Cosmo, I would like to end with one of her quotes. She says, "Some women choose to follow men, and some women choose to follow their dreams. If you're wondering which way to go, remember that your career will never wake up and tell you it doesn't love you anymore." And I think she's just trying to show everybody that you got to be yourself, and in the end, you'll be successful.
So, Christine, were you going to do the oral evaluation? Is that the deal?
Yes, I was.
All right.
So it was a little short. I liked the mask. It was interesting to bring in something, replica of something that's different. It's an interesting topic. The couple of the pictures you showed, like the first one, there was too many small pictures on it, so you couldn't really see it. And when you were showing pictures, you kind of, I don't know, I felt like it took a while to show, and you kind of just paused. I don't know, I kind of felt it was a little awkward. Other than that, you were talking clearly, you made eye contact, and overall I thought it was pretty good.
All right, I think you do okay with the attention device using the sort of quote that she uses when she's talking to her fans. That's fine, and the subject is identified pretty clearly, and it really sounds like you are going to focus on the fashion kinds of things, and I think that that's important, but after that, it just seems like you've just got some examples that you're showing us instead of adding to and explaining much. The accessory that you have at the end, I'm not sure if they're brass knuckles, a ring, a bracelet, I don't know what you would call that. You mentioned, for instance, this is something that you did, and those kinds of things allow others to be innovative, and I'm going, how? I don't see that connection. If designers are being inspired by something that she does, okay, then I can see that. If individuals are changing the way they dress and act as a consequence, okay, maybe it's influential. I'm not sure how innovative it is, especially if people are just copying stuff, so that's a little bit problematic. I appreciate the idea that you're trying to distinguish her from other kinds of pop artists that have maybe had an influence on fashion over the years, but what we need to know is what's particularly unique about her or different, and I'm not sure. It's just that she seems to be like the next step. What's different about that step? Does it cross a line? Is it more influential? Is it more creative? The idea of the mask, for instance, that's in the video and related to the concept of the song, I think that's a good idea. That's a good starting point to talk about. But then you just kind of say, and I think it's interesting because most people don't use mirrors much, and I'm going, okay. But talk about how it's connected to the visuals that she's promoting, or the ideas in the song, or how it's influenced anybody else. It just seems kind of an evaluative kind of statement there, and I don't think that gets you very much. I have to agree with Christine. The pictures, she's sitting up front, so she gets a chance to see them a little bit better. I'm sorry, I'm an old guy sitting in the back here, and I've got my glasses on. Actually, I have pretty good farsightedness. It's just that kind of stuff. I had to get the glasses because my arms finally got to be too short for me to be able to read anything. If you move it far enough away, I can usually see it. Still too small. And this is one of those things that could easily be fixed by putting on a transparency. If you don't want to use the electronic stuff, put it on a transparency and show it. That'll cost you $1 to photocopy it onto that, and it would be so much easier and useful for the audience to see those things. Your voice is fine. You have good audience contact. But like I said, the visuals are a little underwhelming, and I think after you get into the subject, you don't really develop it as much as it needs to. And it's an interesting topic. It's a contemporary kind of thing. It's somebody that people are talking about, so there's no reason that you shouldn't be talking about it. But you got to find something that's a little bit more interesting, because it sounds like I could summarize everything you said in a 30-second bit on Entertainment Tonight and be done with it. And you want something more than that for your speech. All right, thank you.